town of Thaxted is Queen of Essex, and her crown is the church. The steeple stands out over the surrounding fields. The town streets all seem to bend in its direction over ancient cobbles and past timber-framed houses. This was a place of thatchers, hence its name, then of cutlers, hence the name of its town hall, and finally of cloth, to which the church owes its richness. Thaxted is a corrective to those who find East Anglian perpendicular monotonous. We do not know who built this church, but we do know of the remarkable vicars, Conrad Knoll and Jack Potterill, who, for most of the 20th century, made it a centre of Anglo-Catholic evangelism. Gustav Holst came to live in Thaxted, played the organ, and gave its name to the well-known tune to the hymn, "I Vow to Thee, My Country." The tower is almost as high as the church is long, perfectly proportioned from base to spire. This latter is supported by flying buttresses and has ribs with crockets. The side walls of the chancel and aisles are filled with big, beautiful windows, those in the chancel having straight tops, entirely filling the walls with glass. Ferocious gargoyles abound. The porches are richly decorated, the north one especially so. The south porch has unusual entrances in all three sides and a star vault. Both porches have upstairs rooms. The room above the north porch is a private chapel dedicated to John Ball, priest martyr and organiser of the 1381 Peasants' Revolt. The interior is saved from blandness by its proportions and by the ingenuity with which the transepts throw shadows across the central space. The plan dates from circa 1340, leaving a late decorated nave with beautifully rhythmic arcades. From this core, the perpendicular architecture seems to blossom outwards. The nave aisles are wider than the nave, while the transepts are so short as almost to be false. The chancel has aisles of its own, only slightly narrower than those in the nave, with arcades with charming pierced spandrels. Above, soar Thaxted's clerestories and roofs of Tudor oak. The church is a gallery of medieval stone carving. Grotesques, monsters, bishops, saints adorn the rafters in happy congregation. Carving in the north transept is truly astonishing. Nodding OG arcading is infested with angels popping out of every nook, smiling and playing instruments. Conrad Knoll filled the empty niches and dressed every altar. Gaudy banners hang in the chancel, restoring some of the colour of the pre-Reformation church. In the south transept is a lovely 14th century German Madonna. The glass is mostly clear throughout. As a result, when I visited on an early spring day, the windows were filled with the sight of cherry blossom. This perfectly matched the flowers of the Garden of Eden depicted in the lovely medieval window, circa 1450, of Adam and Eve in the south aisle. On my trip to St John's, I was most pleased to find lovely examples of fine pargeting, which is common on Essex cottages. A fine example of interior pargeting in an Essex church can be found at St Margaret's in Margaretting.